Thunder, Indra. Did you know that Indra was a thunder god considered, and Indra is also the god of the East, the deity of the East, let's say, in Hindu philosophy. And Vajra would be the lightning bolt or the feminine aspect. I thought I'd just pass on that information. Got to forgive me for the low light here because we're having clouds in the desert, which is awesome. I love clouds in the desert. I thought I'd do a video today, I hope everybody got to see my newsletter. I will be putting that link continuously in the show notes or in the comments so that you can always have an easy way to go to Spirit of Crazy Horse and purchase my books and art and whatever you might like to possess for your own personal growth. I thought I'd talk a little bit more about the video before last where I talked about false realities. I'm going to cover a lot of stuff today. I'm just going to talk off the top of my head, and then I'll name the video after I'll pick something out of the video and just name it. It's always beneficial for you to not only stay for the first part of my videos, but through the whole thing. I know a lot of times people jump into a situation and they start listening and they start thinking, oh, is that what he's talking about, or this or that? They get bored, whatever. Because they have an attention span of a gnat, that's why. They can't sit back and just pretend like they're sitting here in the room with me and we're having a conversation. But anyway, I thought I would touch on the two realities, first of all, that I touched on. And I mentioned a person in the last video who I think is really on top of it and does a lot of good. But also, I have downloads all the time and I have information come to me all the time that always is expanding on concepts. Okay. And the concept of the two realities has to be explained a little bit further in the context of gnosis or knowledge or the Gnostic tradition, which I have talked about before. And that relates to the planet itself in planetary Tantra. Okay, now I know I've talked about Tantra yoga, okay, between two people and within the self. I know I've talked about that, but this is a little bit different. This is planetary Tantra, or having Tantra with Sophia or Unsi Maka or Mother Earth, Vajra Valasi is another term that's used for the consciousness of Mother Earth. And Mother Earth does have a consciousness. So when I was talking about the two different realities, and I said there was a natural reality, this is something that I've always said, that there's a natural reality and that there's an overlay of that reality. So I don't want people to get the idea based on my video before last or whatever somebody else's conclusions are, that because we live in this reality, the natural reality, the one that's connected to Vajra Valasi or Mother Earth, that somehow is a false simulated reality. It's not. The consciousness that we experience from Mother Earth, and when we're tuned into her consciousness, the goddess energy, when we're tuned into that and we are aware of that, that takes supremacy over any other kind of overlay or artificial reality that is imposed upon us by other forces, okay? Now, the other forces that you would describe this as the two vectors of reality, the two vectors of, let's say, a consciousness. So the first and foremost, the premier vector would be that of the consciousness of the planet. And everything that we see, everything in nature is real. Yes, it's made of energy, but it's real in the sense of it is part of the consciousness of the planetary energy, the planetary mother, the goddess, Sophia, Unsi Maka in Lakota, or in Hindu Vajra, or any number of terms that could be used, okay? Now, having said that, you have another force vector that comes from another source, okay? And that other source are the archons, which I've talked about extensively. The archons, or the force that is a mistake or a flaw, coming from when the planetary system was created, there was a flaw, okay? And that flaw, that's the best way I can describe it. There was a flaw, or there was a mistake, or there was an aberration, let's say. And that aberration happens to be these entities that are on another level, dimensional, or wherever you want to put them, outside the realm of our perception. There's any number of ways you could describe that. There's any number of ways that you could talk about that. But the important thing to know is that that vector that is coming in from them distorts, okay, the reality from the planetary mother. It has a way to come in and distort that through some kind of vector. And it actually can alter people's consciousness. That's why we have so much evil in the world. Because these people are not tuned into the divine goddess, the divine mother. They're not receiving her instruction, her information, her consciousness, her energy. We are one with her, okay? We wouldn't be on this planet unless we were one with her. So when you have planetary Tantra, or let's say intercourse or union or yoga with the Divine Mother, it's the same as when you're with a partner and you're circulating the energy between yourselves through, let's say, a sexual connection, a sexual interface. Well, you can have that same interface with the Divine Mother, or the Divine Goddess, or the Dakini, or the Diamond Star Dakini, or the whatever Dakini you choose to fuse with, or call to your attention, or bring to your attention. How do you do that? Well, you do it through everything that I've been trying to teach you: raising your consciousness, yoga, Tantra yoga, movement of energy, movement of chi, movement of prana. Incidentally, the best time to meditate and the best time to take advantage of the pranic flow, or the flow of the chi, is in the morning at sunrise. Beautiful sunrise this morning in the desert. I mean, the whole eastern hemisphere was on fire. There was clouds dispersed around with openings in the clouds, and the clouds were just this brilliant, brilliant. I wish I could send you a picture of it. Brilliant orange, brilliant on fire, and it was appropriate today for me because I was specifically meditating on Indra, which is the deity of the East. So the spirits of the four directions are named differently in the Hindu mythology or philosophy. You have Indra in the East. You have Yama in the South. In the West, you have Varuna, and in the North, you have Soma, okay, which is beautiful. In Lakota, the West would be Sapa, North would be Luta, East would be Gi, and South would be Ogaga Ska. But they're all the same. They're all the same spirits of the four directions, the same deities, the same gods or goddesses. So you should know this stuff when you're getting into planetary Tantra, having intercourse or union or yoga or intimate relations with the goddess energy of the planet. This is stuff you should know about. And your connection in that regard allows you to put on what they call the five skull crown. Okay, you might see this in some kind of Hindu philosophies where they have crowns on their head and they have skulls. They have 5 skulls. And these skulls are a protection. They're a protection. They're like wearing a headset. They're a protection, and it's a metaphysical thing. It's a spiritual thing that I'm talking about here. The 5 skull crown helps you fend off the archontic vector. The archontic vector, which tends to distort the realities. How does this archontic vector work? Well, it works through IT, it works through the internet, it works through electronics, it works in all kinds of different ways, okay? It has devious ways in which it works, okay? And the more we're plugged into this thing that I'm sitting in front of, the computer or your iPhone or whatever mechanical device you might use, and believe me, this was all, it's hard not to use them, isn't it? Why? Because that's the way they planned it. They planned it this way so that you couldn't use the old rotary dial phone anymore, or you couldn't use less intrusive devices. Hell, they even have smart meters on all the houses. They've installed them everywhere. And these smart meters are something else that the AI works through, or the archontic intervention. You know, AI could just as much stand for archontic intervention as it does for artificial intelligence. So they're constantly bombarding us. They're constantly using the mass media, the IT, the internet connections. They're constantly using these things to bombard us, to twist our reality, to give us a different vision, to get away from nature and more into electronics. But when you walk out and say you're walking in the forest and you're all alone and you're looking around at nature, and nature is there, it's real, it's as real as you can get. It would be like if they came down and bombarded you and twisted things and gave you kind of a distorted view of nature, to the point where actually you didn't like nature. You felt strange in nature. No, you want to get back to your computer. You want to get back plugging your fucking self into your iPhone. Unplug from the archontic intelligence and plug back into Mother Earth. Plug back into the planetary Tantra. Connect with Mother Earth. Mother Earth is a direct, and see, that's where I disagree with other people, and maybe they've done a lot of research and things of this nature, but they don't quite get the planetary Tantra thing. They don't quite get that we don't have to wait for some kind of cataclysm in some cyclical period where there's so many years. We don't really have to wait for that to be free. We can be free by our own machinations, by our own power, by our own realization of who we are, by our own God self, goddess self. Because we are none other than that. What do you think yoga's about? What do you think meditation's about? What do you think Tantra is about? Tantra is about tuning in those energy centers in the body, lining them up with the universal flow of the goddess energy, realizing that you are one with that. That's where your power is. That's where your power is to overcome the archontic intervention, the archontic intelligence, the artificial intelligence on the planet. Stay out of watching the news. Stay out of thinking that you have to be right on top of everything. Everybody's guilty of that, myself included. It's a magnetic draw. It's like, I gotta know what's happening. I gotta know what's going on in the world scene. I gotta follow this stuff. Why? Does it do you any good? Is it a plus to your intelligence on the natural level? Your feeling on the natural level? I teach all this stuff in my books. In Emergence, let's say, let's discuss that a little bit. I'm not doing a commercial here, but I'm just stating some facts. In my book Emergence, I wrote a novel about two people, twin souls that were actually together on a higher level, and then they split off and came down into the wombs of their mother and were born on separate locations, and then they were slowly gravitated towards one another and met again, but they were actually the same spirit in a male and female form. How's that one? Just like what we have within us. And these people turn out to, when they meet again, they turn out to charge one another up because they expand. There's an emergence there of the original spirit. So right away, I'm writing about very esoteric things that are true and possible, okay? This is what I don't understand, why people aren't just jumping to get this book and to get my other book, Listen to the Wind, which incorporates all kinds of insight, the same kind of insight that I give on my videos, only in words and thoughts. But this book, Emergence, continues on to where these two people cultivate, and they're young. They're just out of high school. They're 18 years old. But they're ancient souls, and when they connect, they realize that. and they feed off one another, or let's say they charge one another. That would be a better word. So when in the process of doing this, they go through all kinds of things. They discover all kinds of things. They discover tantric sex. They discover Hopi prophecy. They discover all kinds of ancient techniques. The man teaches techniques in the books, and they're actual techniques. Splatter vision and being in present are two of the techniques that are taught in the book. And martial arts moves, descriptions of martial arts moves, descriptions of philosophies, of Eastern philosophies. I mean, I'm telling you, I could go on. There's all kinds of gems that I put into this book that I channeled. Actually, both books that I wrote were channeled. And of all the books on the market out there that you could be buying or that you could be looking into, these are manuals. These aren't just books that I wrote. These are downloads of information that came out in certain forms. So it would be in your best interest to check it out, you know. It doesn't matter one way or the other to me, but what baffles me is why people don't check things out and don't listen to what I say and don't understand that you can pick up a book, you can pick up a book with words and thoughts, and it can have a profound effect on you, not even you realizing, even on a subconscious level. Seeds are planted, okay? And I'm a wisdom keeper. I'm a shaman. I'm here to change your perception. And it limits me. I guess there is a side to me that is just a little bit baffled, let's say. I won't say I'm angry. I'll just say I'm baffled at the fact that people aren't getting access to this information. I mean, shit, I'm practically giving it away just for donations. I mean, how many people will give you this kind of information, the same kind of information that I talk about here with planetary Tantra and yoga and techniques and ancient techniques and shamanistic techniques and indigenous techniques and concepts and ideas and information, Akashic record. And man, I could sit here and I could throw a whole glossary of metaphysical terms at you that are in these books. It's an education. Take advantage of it while you can. Don't go out and, buy a bunch of shit that doesn't fucking enable you or doesn't teach you what the fuck's going on. I just had to say that. I just kind of had to get it off my chest because I put stuff out there. I've been putting stuff out there for 10 fucking years. More. And I see a lack of appreciation is what I see. I see a lack of recognition, a lack of appreciation for what a true Wakasa Wakan, holy man, is presenting to you. You need to listen to this stuff. You need to tune into this stuff. This is life-saving. This is life-enhancing. This is life-giving information. This is freedom. Freedom from this constant bombardment of this propagandized information and energy. Now, I'm not talking about just being bombarded by, let's say, supernatural forces. Those supernatural forces, your only protection is the planetary Tantra. Your only protection is the higher level of consciousness. Your only protection and your only savior. It's not some JC came from the sky in a bunch of clouds and came down with his angels and saved everybody's ass. That's not it. Religion is not it. It's the deceiver. You have to go within. You have to cultivate your own pranic energy and chi. You have to stop fucking around and get on it. And you need to go back, and I'm going to start posting my consciousness series in links in the show notes so that you can just go down there and go, oh yeah, consciousness series. Go back and review that. Pay attention to it. I'm not just some howdy-doody type guy here trying to present you information that is just interesting or, let's say, entertaining. That's not what I'm here for. And if you don't realize that, you are disrespecting who I am as an entity, as a force, as an energy, as an Indra, as a thunder, okay? This is what comes through me. The thunder, the lightning bolts from my eyes. This is the perception that you should be getting of me. Now, the stronger you get in this perception of me, the stronger you're going to get in this perception of you, because you are also this power, this strong power that you have given away to others, to the errants, to the sleepers, to the people walking around in the mass collective consciousness and those who are rulers. You have given your power away. You are enslaved. You are a slave. Take your power back and be a deity. Be a divine being. Increase your power, increase your knowledge, increase your wisdom. Stop listening to bullshit. Support your local shaman. And stop listening to all these talking heads on all these different platforms, and they got thousands of fucking viewers. Does a shaman cuss? Fuck yes. The sacred and profane are both sides, two sides of the same coin. That means nothing. It's the duality. Sometimes I get tired of people giving too much attention to fluff, to bullshit, getting distracted by all the yap people out there that are giving you nothing. All they're doing is regurgitating the news or regurgitating something they heard from somebody else. They're not giving you powerful energy. And in my book, Emergence, the character in there who actually this book was written mostly about my life with a fictional twist and enough to creative license to be able to add certain things in there, okay? But the character in the book, the male, whose name is Thunder, gets pissed off, gets upset when he sees what's coming down the road. These events that I'm talking about in the book were happening back in 1950s and 60s. Him and his girlfriend, him and his twin soul, and they talk about it continually. They talk, exchange ideas about what's coming down the road. I'm that same person. I know what's coming down the road, and I get frustrated sometimes. And of course, the the feminine energy within me has to settle me down, has to say, chill out. You can't save the world. You can't save the world. But at times, it's like, people will look a gift horse in the mouth. They'll look right at the gift horse in the mouth and just say, what's he talking about today? Or, what? No, not giving the importance that is due, not giving the reverence and the honor that is due to any person that takes the mantle of, let's say, a shamanistic mantle or a holy mantle, and this has nothing to do with ego. This has nothing to do with that, so don't even fucking go there. This is righteous indignation, okay? This is something you need to hear. You need to honor those who are giving you truth. You need to honor those. Just like when the people of the tribe went to the medicine man, they brought him an offering. They brought him an offering. Tobacco, or, sacred tobacco, or kinnikinnick, or a robe, or, an animal, or a bow and arrow, or whatever. They brought it to him in reverence, saying, let us give you this in return to what you're giving to us, a healing that you are giving to us. I've been coming on here for I don't know how long, 10 years, not really expecting anything. But on the other hand, and here we go, when I don't see a reciprocation, okay, a return from what I'm giving out, I gotta wonder. So take that for what it's worth. Take that for what it's worth. You need to look into certain things and quit swimming upstream with a log tied to your ass. Swim downstream, get the tools that you need to do that, and pay attention. And see, here's another thing too. I put out these consciousness videos. Oh, I'm on it today. I put out these consciousness videos. I got 100 people watching them, which isn't a great deal. That means that people aren't sharing. That means that people aren't thinking this is important enough to fucking share this stuff. Pass it around. This is important stuff that people could use to overthrow the tyranny of what we are under. But I don't even see people coming back going, oh yeah, I sat down and I did that abdominal breathing and I did that consciousness raising that you told me about, and oh wow, what a difference. I felt good. I felt awesome. But there's a question I have about this, or there's a question I have about that. Do I see that in the comments? Which tells me you're not doing it. You're not practicing it. You're not fucking doing it. You're shining it on. You need to practice this stuff, people. You need to fucking practice this stuff. You need to do it. Quit jiving around. There's a wealth of information here, and you're just shining it on. So anyway, I'm probably boring you to tears, huh? Or maybe you're just getting, what's wrong with Thunder today? There's nothing wrong with me today, other than the fact that people have a tendency to ignore what's good for them. And believe me, the planet needs it. Goddess Mother Sophia, the planetary Tantra, the planetary consciousness, and all those who are, all those who are connected to that need more. It's called being a warrior, a Kalika warrior. Kalika, Kali. You should see her. You think I'm angry? You should see the goddess Kali. Her eyes are like snake eyes, and she's got 2 swords in each hand, and she's cutting off heads, and she's got a garland or a necklace of skulls around her, and she's holding up one severed head. That's the goddess Kali, who's beautiful, Kalika. And why is that beautiful? Because that's a metaphor, that's a representation of killing the demon archons and the demon influence and the bad influence that surrounds us. She's a protector. She's part of the goddess. And she's not the only one. We have other goddesses too that emanate from Indra or Shiva. The Kalika Warrior Club. I'll leave it there today. I'm gonna put some links down there, and I'll put a link in my last video about how to go to my website and partake, and pass this on. I'm tired of being ignored. Okay. Now, I don't know if it's YouTube or, algorithms or whatever, but when I look at the trash out there, when I look at the waste of time and the waste of energy and what these people are saying, if you don't get what I'm saying is truth, then you don't even belong here. You need to get out. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. If you're not passing this stuff around, and if you're not doing the things that you need to do to promote this energy that I'm putting out, then you don't belong here. But there are some that appreciate, and there are some that will try to spread this information around. I'm not just a character sitting here talking. I'm a channel. I'm going to leave it there. Adios.